Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to Queen City Toastmasters. Today, I will be the sergeant at arms and also the presiding officer. I'm currently the Vice President of Education, as most of you know. But for those who are guests and one here, we like to start beginning with introducing our guests. So I think you all know her, but as is customary, please introduce yourself. Let us know your name, how did you hear about us, and what brought you to Queen City Toastmasters.
My colleague at work from out of state and just to protect them.
Welcome back. And I don't see that we have any, we have Vanessa online, but we don't have any guests, so we can proceed with our order of business. And I would like to introduce the person who is going to help us leading this meeting. He is the Toastmaster of the day. Please help me welcome our Toastmaster, David Jones.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Elvis. So my theme tonight is gratitude. Now, when I started, I was thinking about Thanksgiving and being thankful. But there's two different things. There's being thankful and there's gratitude. For instance, when we go to Thanksgiving dinner, somebody always says to us, go around the table and say what you're thankful for. We all say, thankful for my family, my friends, my health. You know, it's very insincere. We just want to get out of there. At least I do. Next Thursday, I'm trying to get out of there. But gratitude is when we're very thankful for what we have. It's a personal thing. It's a self-actualization where we understand what we have in our life. For instance, at my age, every time I wake up, I have gratitude because I'm awake. You know, any day above ground is a good day. So for me, that's gratitude. And I'm going to talk about the theme a little bit more as we go along. But I'm going to see, is Vicky here? I don't think our inspirational speaker is here. Let me see if I'm going to give her a chance real quick. Is Andrea Chocolate Butterfly, can you give us an inspiration on the fly? Are you available? Our inspirational speaker isn't here. She might be driving, so we'll come back to her.
I'm not driving. I was trying to take myself off of mute.
Oh. Do you have an inspiration for gratitude that you can share with us?
For gratitude? Yes. In all things, give thanks. Even when you feel like nobody cares or nobody is listening, your smile may change the world for everybody else. So in all things, give thanks. And that doesn't mean that things are always going to go right. And it doesn't mean that you should celebrate the wrong things, but it says smile and be content through that. Because if you look at it, somebody else may be worse. Like I'm hurting today, but somebody else is not able to walk. I may have been mad that I had to stay in a hotel for a couple of days because they were fixing our floors at the house, but somebody else doesn't have a house to go back to. I may be mad that my car was totaled, but I have another car and I can still drive. I'm still here. It's somebody that's not still here. It's somebody who doesn't have a car. And today I can celebrate that I am still here, and in all things, I give thanks. I'm imploring you to do the same.
Thank you, Andrea. Appreciate it. Thank you. Now, a few weeks ago, I was at another club. I went to hear them speak and just kind of see how the club was running. And they had a speaker, and his speech was called Choices. And it was about the choices we as Americans have. And part of the speech really tapped upon me the thought about gratitude. And that's why I kind of came up with this. Was he was telling the story how he worked in a warehouse. and there was an Asian man who didn't speak a lot of English that also worked in this warehouse with him. But this Asian guy was very thankful, very happy, very appreciative of every opportunity that he had. And one day, the man who was given the speech was going to go get a soda from the vending machine. And he asked his friend, the Asian man, he said, can I get you a soda? And he said, yes. And as he started to go, he goes, well, what do you want? Do you want Gatorade, Coke, Sprite? And he said, no, whatever you bring me, I'm thankful for. You're going to buy me a sugary, fizzy soda and bring it back to me. I don't care what you bring me, just I'm appreciative for it. And it made me start thinking about how if you said that to one of us, if I said to you, do you want a soda? And you'd say, yeah, get me a Coke. And I'd say, oh, that only has Pepsi. You'd be like, forget it. So there's a difference in the way that we look at things, the way that we appreciate things. So that kind of made me start thinking about gratitude. And I'm going to tell another story about gratitude in a minute. But first, I want to start introducing our role keepers. And I'm going to invite up our grammarian, who is obviously, or ironically, Graham. Graham is our grammarian. So that's Hey, Graham. Thanks, sir. I'll grab you some tape. All right.
Thanks, David. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm excited to perform the role of grammarian this evening. And the purpose of the grammarian is to help speakers be aware of their filler words, such as like, so, and, but, etc., as well as offer language and grammar suggestions. And many of us use filler words, and I know it's a hard habit to break, but learning to stop doing it as much can help with the flow of our speaking and make us come off more confident and kind of prevent those disruptions with our statements. And some tips I've tried to utilize is to speak a little more slowly and to maybe introduce a slight pause when we feel the urge to use a filler word. And also, it's my duty to introduce the word of the day. Thanks, David. And I chose the word encourage, which means to give support, confidence, or hope to someone. Also means to do that so that they'll continue to do something and to help or stimulate to develop. So I encourage you to use the word encourage today. I'll mark myself down for usage there. And I'll be counting how many times I'll use the word. And I chose this word because I think it exemplifies what's so great about Toastmasters. Can provides that, there we go, mark myself down for that too. The environment to face our fears and kind of hone our skills in a supportive environment. And thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Appreciate it. Vicky, right? All right. We already skipped over you. Inspirational speaker. We had Andrew Chocolate Butterfly, but I'd also like to hear your inspiration. So are you ready? Okay. So please welcome Vicky. She's going to be our inspiration.
Thank you for the warm welcome. Oh, where's the grammarian? Okay, let me take a deep breath. So, welcome to the meeting tonight, fellow guests, and also the members. I'm a little nervous, so bear with me. To keep along with the lines of gratitude, because I know that's the theme for tonight, I'd like to start by sharing a quote with you by Max Lucado. It's a question, actually. He says, "What if you woke up today with only the things you thank God for yesterday?" Most of us would wake up with nothing if we woke up at all, because we take those little things for granted. We spend most of our lives discontent and complaining about all of the things that we don't have. Wow. So we're excluding all of the things that we do have. Well, I think it's time for us to change our perspective. I'd like to challenge you if you're up for the challenge. So if you decide to take it, I challenge you to start each day with an attitude of gratitude. So if you would help me create a list of things that we take for granted every day, that for someone less fortunate, they would think that it would be great and happy to have. Okay, so I'll start. How about shelter? Instead of being concerned with the size of the house, just shelter to protect us from the outside elements. Who's next? Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Thank you. Who else? Yes.
I think it's very easy on like a Monday morning, you're tired to be a bit annoyed that you have to go to work.
Mm,
But a lot of people, if you were to lose your job, if someone lost their job, they would wish they were in a position. So
absolutely. Yeah, that's a great example. Yes, even if you don't like your job. Go ahead.
Your health, your general health, just being able to get up and just, breathe,
Absolutely.
function, not being in pain, job, run, just overall health.
Absolutely.
Physically and mentally.
Yes,
So, without your health, that's your wealth. So,
I agree. I agree. And those are some great examples. But I will tell you this, every morning we should be very grateful that we wake up. It's a fresh start filled with opportunities. Every morning, 150,000 people around the world don't get that opportunity. So as we grow, I implore you to be grateful for everything, the good and what seems to be bad that always works out for our good. Thank you.
Great job. Appreciate it. Thank you. That was a good segue into part of my gratitude is like some of you, on occasion, I play the lottery. And when I play the lottery, I have all these grandiose ideas of what I'm going to do with the money. It's going to be a bigger house, nicer car. But then when I heard that speech about the gentleman from Asia who was appreciative of just a soda, something so simple that he didn't want a specific type, it was just, yes, I'll take it. It made me think about, why do I want a bigger house? Why do I want a mansion? And it came back to the appreciation, the gratitude of what I have now. And what I have now is a nice house in a nice neighborhood. I'm like, why would I want to get something else? And then I started thinking about statistically what I actually have. For instance, my neighbor, they have a bigger house. Their house is 2,100 square feet, but it's a family. There's 2 people plus 3 kids. That's 5 people divided by the 2,100. That's 426 square feet each. Now, my house is only 1,500 square feet, but I live alone. I have 1,500 square feet, and they're all like little mice in their little house over there. So why do I need a bigger house? And I don't. It's the same with the car. I want a nicer car, but I have the best car. It's the Chevy Equinox out there, and it's a company car, so it's free. They pay for everything, and I get a new car every 2 years. So why do I need to win the lottery to get a new car? I get one every 2 years anyways. So that's part of my gratitude, is just kind of doing a self-assessment, is what do I have and why do I want more and need more? And I really don't. I pretty much have everything I want. When people ask like my family, what do I want for Christmas or birthday? I'm like, I really don't need anything. I have everything I need. It's not as grandiose as other people's, but I have what I need. Speaking of grandiose, we have a great speaker who is our timer. Allison, you want to share your role with us?
Time is very important. It for many reasons. How many of us have been in a meeting and we are going way over the time? What does that do? That either gets everybody annoyed or then it kind of messes up that next meeting. And so the idea of time, and it's fleeting, right? We only have a certain amount each day and for each of our speeches. We are going to take tonight to try to be cognitive of our time. And I'm going to encourage everybody tonight to try to stick to their time. Starting out tonight with the prepared speeches, we have two. They're going to be different lengths. The first one is going to be a little bit longer. It is going to be your second one. Oh, she's going first. The second one will be a little longer. It's going to be 11 to 13 minutes. And we also have an icebreaker, which is going to be 4 to 6 minutes. For the icebreaker, we're going to have the green up at 4. And then for our longer speech tonight, we'll have the green up at 11. For our icebreaker speech at 5 minutes, we'll have the yellow up, and at 12 minutes for our longer speech. And then for our icebreaker, we will have the red up at 6, and 13 minutes we will do for the longer speech. For table topics tonight, that will be between 1 and 2 minutes. We'll be doing the green at a minute, yellow at a minute and a half, and then we got the red at 2 minutes. And then finally, we will have the evaluations tonight. They're going to be between 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes will be at the green. At 2.5 minutes, we'll be at the yellow. And then to finish up, we will be at the red. I will come back up at the end to ensure that we have hopefully stay within our time limits. Thank you.
Thank you. Wouldn't know what to say if I didn't have this. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with our speeches. We have our icebreaker, and we don't want to keep her on ice anymore. So I'd like to invite, hold on, encourage Momita to come over here. She is doing her icebreaker. She is in the Dynamic Leadership Level 1, and the title of her speech is Sophie, My Pug. Welcome, Momita.
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and my dear guests. She thinks she is human. Sophie, my pug. She is the princess of my house, and she has magic on us. It's like that, like we are all at her service. Her day starts observing us, catching our morning routine. And if one of us have not started, she has an adorable way of waking us up. Either she'll come and chew our hair, or she'll lick our face that we have to get up. She is a non-noisy, furry alarm clock for us. And she's very punctual with her. She doesn't know how to look at the clock, but she knows that it is 5 minutes past her breakfast or 5 minutes past her lunch. She'll come and lick our feet and ask, we know that's her signal, give me food. So she's very punctual. And yeah, till date, we don't know. She's so wise that till date, we don't know who is her favorite. Like whether it's me, my mom, my dad, my sister, we don't know. She gives equal amount of time to each of us. And the affection is also equal. We keep debating at home that I am her favorite, but till date, it's a mystery. And there are a lot of things that I have learned from her. And one of the thing is, there are few that I want to bring it over here is, first is not to quit even if you're scared. That is the first time we noticed, and it was hilarious for us. The delivery guy was at the door and she was barking like anything. Generally, the delivery guys will get scared and they'll go off. This guy was standing there. She went back in the room, but she was barking. She didn't stop barking. So that showed her courage, that even though she is scared, she kept her job doing of scaring the other person to go out. That is one. The second is, if she needs affection, she'll just go for it. If our hand is like that, she'll just bring her head, pet me. That is how she is. And The third point is her quality of to be happy anywhere. Like if the whole family is there, she is happy. She's cheerful whole day. She's busy. Like she has no work, but she keeps her busy. And she invents her own games and she plays. And we also get engaged with her. So I'm so thankful that she came to our life. Prior to her, I was a different person. The feelings like compassion and kindness, I thought I had, but after she came, I started having that feeling. Nowadays, when I see something, yeah, my heart aches. And this was not there before, but it has happened after I had Sophie in our life. So I'm very thankful for that. And I want to dedicate a piece from Brian Adams' song to Sophie, which is, "There's no love like your love, and no other could give me more love. There's nowhere unless you are here all the time, all the way." Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mika. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to move into our next speaker, who is the one and only John Capello. And his speech is, it's not 10 to 12. How long is it? 11 and 13 minutes. And the title is The Best Decision. And the best decision you all made was to come here tonight to see the performance of John Capello. Welcome, John.
That's fine, we'll leave it. Just may need a tweak there at the end. You'll know. Veteran Toastmasters, newer Toastmasters, reoccurring guests, first-time guests. All of you had to make a conscious decision at some point to walk through those doors. We hear reasons every week as to why, but I think I can boil it down into just one: the desire for self-improvement. Pursue your best self, and you will lead your best life. Now, for those that don't know me, my name is John Capello. I've been a Toastmaster now going on about 5 years. And in keeping with David's theme of gratitude, I would like to express my gratitude for this club. Queen City Toastmasters has been the main engine of my personal growth for years. It has changed the trajectory of my life, and for that, I thank you. Now, when I'm not in Toastmasters, I'd like to consume daily motivation. Why? I want to keep myself on track. And I came across a speaker recently by the name of Eddie Pinero. He's a motivational speaker. He's got great content on YouTube. I encourage you to check him out. But he has one speech in particular that reminds me of the Toastmaster journey. I love it. And it had such a profound impact on me that I would like to re-deliver it to you tonight, to the best of my recollection. But I have customized it. It is his content, but I have customized it to be even more Toastmaster applicable. I hope it will be impactful with all of you, as it was for me. So without further ado, Eddie Pinero, the Toastmaster version. What is the difference between simple and easy? Simple means straightforward, clear, not complicated. Easy, on the other hand, means achieved without great effort. The difference between the two words is subtle, but essential to understand within the Toastmaster journey. One deals in the complexity of an outcome, the other with the amount of determination required to achieve that outcome. Becoming the best version of yourself is simple. Becoming the best version of yourself is not easy. Just like speaking amongst your friends is easy, speaking in front of a large audience is not. The context or the procedure didn't change, the context did. So let's talk about the context. Let's talk about this cyclical nature of personal growth. Because it's not that most people can't, it's that most people won't. It's not that they don't know how, they just don't have a strong enough why. The path of Toastmasters is simple, and it is laid out before you. You just have to choose whether or not you will walk down it. Will you? Step one, realize there is more. It's not that you aren't already amazing. It's just that yesterday's act of courage has become today's status quo. What was once the spectacular, it's become the mundane. What was once that ceiling you had to jump to touch is now the floor you walk on. So at the very least, it begs the question, well, what's next? Simple, not easy. Step two, the acquisition of courage. Yesterday's courage was a fight, took a lot out of you. It's ultimately what got you here. But it dropped you off at the curb, it waved goodbye, and went on its merry way. Now here you are. You could stay here, just observe. A lot of people do. You could reminisce in past triumphs and the glory years, or you can engage in that perpetually uncomfortable exercise of vulnerability, stepping into the great unknown, realizing that some of life's biggest rewards come with a hefty price tag. And that price tag is discomfort. You've played this game before, you might say. Now, what you did is learn the rules. The rules you'll have to apply to a new setting, stepping outside your comfort zone. Volunteering for table topics, membership, icebreakers. When you have the willingness to put your toes at the edge of the diving board and jump in, when you have enough faith in yourself to begin again, you fan the tiny flames of courage within your soul that wait to be spread like a wildfire into massive self-confidence. Simple, not easy. Step three, mistakes. Of course, it's not the mistakes themselves you fear. It's what you think those mistakes will bring. Falling on your face, freezing in front of your audience, filler words. It's not those, you don't fear those. You fear the humiliation, the embarrassment, the loss of confidence. Well, here's the catch. When you realize that your upside is greater than your downside, you liberate yourself. When you realize you have more to gain than you have to lose, your potential for greatness is born. How does one act on this? Mistakes, by making mistakes, by thrusting yourself into the turbulence of progress. Our biologies have yet to figure out that the uncomfortable path is the right path. And that's why you meet resistance. That's why you hesitate. That's why it hurts. And that's why few people will accomplish what you will. And what you will, David Jones. And what you will, Elvis Lopez. And what you will, Andrea Chocolate Butterfly Williams. For you and everyone else in this room, when it comes to your climb, every day is opposite day. While they're rushing out, you are rushing in. While they're playing it safe, you're playing for the victory. While they're at home watching Netflix, you're coming to Toastmasters. For in order to become the greatest communicator you can be, you must learn how to get there. Great speakers are not born. They are made through the curriculum of mistakes. Simple, not easy. Step 4, stay disciplined. Sure, John, no problem, easy. Well, it's easy when life is giving you what you want, when it's going your way. But there's nothing quite like giving and giving and giving and not receiving. There's nothing quite like coming up here over and over and over again and not feel like you're making progress, like you're not making a difference. Might prompt you not to show up on a Tuesday night, or worse, quit altogether. How does one find the discipline to keep showing up to the podium? Well, here's the thing. Evolution takes time, but evolution is also exponential, meaning it is not dependent on any one individual outcome or speech, but on the aggregate of all of those speeches, all of those roles that when stacked upon one another starts to accelerate your progress. That timer role matters. That evaluation role matters. That grammarian role matters. Each one is shaping your Toastmaster habits and chiseling your future distinguished Toastmaster self into stone. This is why success is so often defined as the sheer willingness to keep showing up. Repeat and refine. Repeat and refine. Repetition and adjustment. These are the materials of which all things are made. Simple, not easy. And then we have the final step 5, the finale. Celebrate and adjust. At some point in your Toastmaster journey, you're going to be able to look over your shoulder and notice something you hadn't before. Space. Space between where you are and where you started from. It wasn't sudden, but gradual. And with enough persistence, it will emerge. These moments, they are precious. It's a time to realize and reflect how much you have sacrificed and what you have accomplished. It is life's friendly reminder of what you are building and who you are becoming. These moments, they are precious. They're all victories, no matter how big or small. Becoming Toastmaster of the Day for the first time, participating in a speech contest, being elected a Queen City officer. These are victories to celebrate, and you should relish in them. And then transform it. Recognize that this mountaintop you have reached is your foundation now. Your perspective has changed. Your starting point has changed, and so have you. With an increase in your ability becomes an upgrade to what is possible, an increase in what is expected. And look at that. We find ourselves right back at a new step 1. Realize there is more. This is the process, Toastmasters. The cyclical nature of personal growth. The path to capturing all that life has to offer. If you can fall in love with that, embrace it, respect it, implement it, there's nothing you can't do. No place you can't go. Simple, yes. Easy, no. But you're not in this for easy. You're in this for the journey. You're in this for the adventure. You're in this for the growth. In time, with enough persistence, you will see, as will Queen City, as will the world, that your decision to walk through those doors, to embrace and endure the Toastmaster journey, was simply the best decision you ever made. Toastmaster.
Thank you, sir. Good job. Appreciate it. Thank you, John. It's very inspirational. there's a part of it that kind of sparked something in me. I don't know if you all know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is. He's the space guy. Well, he and I actually have something in common. And when he talked about it, it kind of gave me gratitude. Now, it's not a judgment of anybody, but the two of us have no tattoos. I don't have a tattoo. My older daughter, she has one tattoo. My younger daughter obviously has like 10. I don't know why. And my ex-wife got one, I think, just to spite me. I'm not against them. I just don't want one personally for me. But what Neil Tyson had said was somebody asked him about tattoos. And he said, no, I don't have a tattoo because I don't want to have something permanently on me that at this moment in time defines who I am. Because it's usually a motto or a logo or something that we believe in at this moment. Because in a year or two, I might not believe what is tattooed on my body. I might have different values and different goals that aren't in line with that, but yet it's always there. So that was just my little thought. I don't know. It just sparked when you said something in there. So I went with that. Next up is going to be the man with the second most common name in the club. And that's Tom Williams. David Jones is obviously the most common name, but Tom, you're going to do some table topics for us. So welcome, Tom.
I will be doing the table topics tonight. Table topics are an opportunity for guests and members to come up and speak improvisationally. Since the theme of tonight is gratitude, all the topics are related to gratitude. Remember, speeches should be 1 to 2 minutes long, and if possible, I encourage you to use the word of the day. Who would like to go first? Oh, yeah, first, right. Okay. There is beauty in everyday life. Describe something that you see on a daily basis that you consider to be beautiful and the reason why you are grateful for it.
So the question is, if I understand correctly, describe what I see beautiful on a daily basis and why. And why I appreciate it. Okay. Every morning, I start my drive up Central Avenue. Start from Briar Creek, and I work right downtown Plaza Midwood. My drive is about 1.5 miles long. I know because training for a marathon, so had to time my distance or gauge my distance quite often. 1.5 miles. And if I'm being quite honest, the first mile is pretty shit. Just kind of run down, nothing too impressive. And then we get to the last mile. We start with the bars, we start with milk bread, we start with the Real Max office, and then my office. And this last half mile, I really appreciate because this is where life begins. There's people walking on my left-hand side. There's a church sermons, talking, promoting the word of God. On my right-hand side, there's people going up and down, milk bread, people getting their morning coffee, having their morning meetings. And why do I appreciate this? Well, coming from a big city like Toronto, I appreciate when there's movement, there's life, there's things going around. And as Plaza Midwood, on my way to work, kind of reminds me of that and brings me back to being at home. So on a daily basis, I do appreciate my drive. On the way back, not too much because it becomes about 5:30, 6 p.m. And of course, there's a lot of traffic and now it's dark to your point last week. So, sorry. So yeah, thank you.
Who would like to go next? Welcome, Jack. So, good things happen to us every day, whether they're big or small. Tell us about something that happened to you today that elicited a feeling of gratitude and why.
Good things happen to us every day. And something that today that elicited a feeling of gratitude. Okay. So today
So about 2 weeks ago, I got a call from my dad, and he's the person that I call. I travel a lot for work. I'm on the road driving all the time, and he's retired now, so I call him all the time. And we were talking on the phone a couple weeks ago, and I had that first moment. He's about 70 years old, where he was just like, he indicated a health issue that was like, oh, like that was like a stomach, like kind of gut punch kind of feeling that wasn't so good. So I talked to him today. I'm going home to Philadelphia next week for Thanksgiving. So I got to talk to him today, and he's going for his procedure tomorrow. And it seems like the chances are very low of whatever problem that he thinks that he has is actually going to be there. So when I was speaking to him and my family today, that was a moment of gratitude, and I get to talk to them about once or twice a week. So whenever I get that chance, it's always good. And I always enjoy talking to him. So yeah, that was a moment of gratitude I had today.
In life, sometimes there are undesired events that turn out to be blessings in disguise. Tell us about a time in your life when something happened to you that you initially perceived as negative that you eventually came to be grateful for.
Something negative that I ended up being grateful for. In life, things are about timing. So I am a strong believer. Sometimes the right situation may just not come at the right time. So in January of 2021, I interviewed for a job at Circle K. I was trying to get onto their global marketing team. I got to the final round. I was so excited, and I didn't get it. The last person that was in the running with me ended up getting the position over me. I was devastated. So I ended up taking a job with Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. So that's me on social media like 2 years ago. If any of your kids go to school in CMS, I ran that page. And honestly, it was terrible. I did not like working for the school district, and it wasn't my favorite, but I learned a lot about my role, my how to deal with people at work in a professional environment and things like that. And it's just interesting how things end up falling back into place, because in November of 2021, after working in that job for 9 months, I get a call from Circle K. And the person that they selected over me for the position ended up not working out. And instead of reopening the role, they called me to see if I wanted it. And now, with 9 more months of experience under my belt, a little bit more confidence, and a little bit more just professional acumen, I happily accepted. And now I've been in that role for almost 2 years, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, thank you.
Keep going. All right. Who'd like to go next? What's your name?
My name is Adrienne.
Adrian. Thank you. Around this time of year, it's common to feel grateful for your friends and family members. Who is someone outside of that group that you feel grateful for this year?
Thank you. Because I don't have any family here, I'm very grateful for my coworkers. They've been so kind to me. I got a promotion at work. They celebrated me. I had a birthday yesterday. They celebrated me, wore my favorite color. To travel 9 hours away from home and to just restart and rebuild a life so I can get to the next place. I'm truly grateful for the kindness I've received since being in Charlotte.
And it makes me realize that the love that I left back home is still there waiting for me. And investing in myself here will give me the opportunity to spend more time with those people. So I'm truly grateful for my coworkers welcoming me and encouraging me on this journey. I didn't mean to say it either.
We have time for one more. Come up with one. Who would like to go next? Greg. Okay. Greg. Regularly practicing gratitude is shown to have numerous health benefits related to happiness and well-being. Do you feel that you practice gratitude regularly? If so, how? If not, how do you think you could start?
So, do I practice gratitude regularly? And if not, how could I start? So, that's a really good practice. I started a gratitude journal years ago when I first moved to Charlotte. And I was like embarking on my career path, which I'm still on and I haven't quite figured out. And I stuck with that journal for a bit. And I would think of like big ideas, like I'm grateful for, my parents and my upbringing, etc. And then I would get very granular with it too, where I'd be like, I'm grateful that I can go to the grocery store and get literally any kind of food I want almost anytime I want. Or even more granular, like I'm grateful that there's fluoride in the drinking water, so I have healthy teeth. Like that's great. But I got out of that practice and just going through day-to-day existence, not really paying attention to all the good things that I have in my life and being more aware of it. So on a regular basis, I have to really remind myself of my situation, of the people that I have in my life and how grateful I am for them. On a regular basis, the thing that I feel I practice or I get the most gratitude from is my roommate's dog. I mean, we were talking about your pug today. My roommate has a Dalmatian. He's a puppy. He's only 3 years old. And every time I come home from work, he's like there waiting for me, happy to see me. And he's not even my dog. So that's something that kind of just sparks that gratitude in me and just trying to remember to look for it in more of the mundane stuff of life. So yeah.
Out of questions. All right. Okay, who wants to go next? Tell us about the dish you were most looking forward to eating for Thanksgiving and tell us how to make it. And if you don't know how to make it, give us your best guess.
So for me, Thanksgiving in America is a bit of an interesting time. So I'm Canadian and our Thanksgiving was a month ago. So luckily for me, I've had a month to prepare mentally for this. I'm kind of new to living on my own, being away from college, not having a meal plan. And actually last week was the first time I cooked a turkey. So it was a bit of a warm up for next week. So I'll give an instruction on how to cook a turkey. Most important step, getting the turkey. So go to your market of choice, get it. For us, it was Walmart. We're living on we're trying to stay within the budget. Second step for us, take whatever seasoning is in your cupboard and lather it all over. Take out the package, set it to the oven to the right temperature. It's simple as that, throw it in and it comes out perfect. So that was coming from one repetition of experience and it worked out fine. So this Thanksgiving, if you want to have a successful dinner, you can follow those steps and it should work out great.
Thank you, everyone. I'm gonna turn it back over now.
Thank you. Kind of gave you a table topics of your own to come up with a question. That's funny. Well, the meal that I'm most looking forward to is the one I don't want to have. I'm going to my mom's in Boca, and she has cats. I just don't want cat hair in my food, which is inevitable. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to my fellow South Floridian, Jackie LaCorca, and she will be our general evaluator. Jackie.
Thank you, David. Good evening. And as David mentioned, I am the general evaluator for tonight's meeting, and I'm here to provide feedback on the various aspects of tonight's gathering. But before I begin, I'd like to introduce the team of evaluators who will be assisting me tonight. So Nick will be evaluating Momita. If Nick would like to join me up here.
Thank you very much. Momita, beautiful icebreaker. Let's give her a hand again. The great thing about the icebreaker is that it's the first chance to get up in front of the group and stretch your legs for the first time and actually be up here for the 5 or 7 minutes in front of everybody. So the first thing I noticed, and I'm hoping my evaluation today, which is my first individual evaluation for anybody, so it was a first for you, first for me, that this will help encourage you and motivate you to come up again. So the first thing I noticed about your speech, you naturally have a very poetic and rhythmic voice that captured me. That in the initial paragraph or two of you speaking, I could almost see it written as poetry on a page. It was a very symmetrical phrasing that was just like, oh, this is going to be a poem about Sophie. I also noticed that you were keeping your eyes moving around the room, making sure to engage everybody joining us here tonight, which is important because they're here to listen to you and you want to make that connection and let them know, hey, I see you, I'm talking to you. You're not paying attention, look up here. You know, you're just trying to get that feeling. I think you got a good feel for that in the room. The most important thing is that we got to learn about Sophie and we got to learn how much Sophie means to you, means to your family. And one of the important tenets that I'm learning about leadership is that leadership is not about having the best ideas. It's about being able to express your own ideas clearly. And I think one thing you did great was just expressing that idea of how much you love Sophie, how much they bring to your lives, and showing that vulnerability in your first speech is amazing. I'm jealous of it. So being able to express that idea, and I'm sure everybody here now wants a little Sophie of their own to go home and snuggle with, was absolutely excellent. The things I would challenge you for your future speeches is to pump up that volume. People do want to hear what you have to say, and what you have to say is so important, and you want to make sure that everybody in the back gets to hear that. The second item would be in your transitions from one idea to the next. Once you got rolling into an idea, it was moving along, it was great, but there was a few little instances of, let me remember what's next. And there was that pause. And I think using transitional words or transitional phrases in those areas will help smooth out from idea to idea. Aside from that, thank you for speaking to us tonight. We really enjoyed it.
That was great feedback, Nick. And Momita, I'm really proud of what you did up here. I think this was the best speech I've ever seen you do. So congratulations. And next, we're going to have Vanessa, who will be evaluating Mr. John. Vanessa.
Thank
She is
you, Ms.
online.
Hi. Hopefully you all can hear me okay. I'm calling in on my phone, but thank you for the introduction, Ms. General Evaluator. And thank you again to John Capello for a highly energizing and motivating speech tonight. John, as some people in the room may already know, your speech was a little bit unusual. Not only was it a little bit longer than the typical speeches at Toastmasters at about 10 minutes, but it was also really designed to motivate and pump up the audience. And when I think about motivational speaking, sometimes the image is a little bit corny or cheesy, but I think what you were going for was truly to energize your audience. And I really felt that tonight. I think you did that excellent job of combining vocal variety, synchronizing your gestures with your voice, and just having the right amount of stage presence to pump up your audience and to make us all feel that high energy when you were speaking. It's sometimes hard to nail down what makes a speaker charismatic and engaging and makes you want to follow what they're saying. And I do think that a lot of it has to do with the stage presence that you have. And one thing I really like about your speaking style that especially stands out, I think I've seen very few people do this as well as you do, is the synchronization between your gestures and your vocals. And we saw that tonight when you were talking about the 3 different steps of motivating yourself, realizing your potential, having the courage, and leveraging your mistakes. You would move around the room and you'd use your arms and your facial expressions as well to emphasize all of the different points you were making. Sometimes when you're a little bit nervous or you haven't rehearsed, and I am guilty of both of these, you will sometimes see people who do a pretty good job with bringing some vocal variety in, but it feels a little bit forced. And you absolutely nailed the authenticity with that. And I think it's really hard to get that right. And you absolutely nailed it. So that is a major ingredient with motivating your audience. One thing to think about perhaps for future speeches, and I don't know if this is necessarily a weakness, but because this is such an unusual speech, I'll point this out. You referenced that you borrowed ideas from another motivational speaker. I believe his name was Eddie Pinero. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but you referenced someone else. And one thing that Toastmasters, especially in competitions, pays attention to is original ideas. So as I was listening, I was trying to distinguish what part of this phrase or this concept is John Capello's original inspiration and what part might be borrowing from someone else's research. So just giving clear credit as far as what are the core ideas from Mr. Pinello over here, and what are my core ideas? That can really help your audience understand what you're uniquely bringing when you're bringing in that Toastmasters connection. Overall, just want to say really excellent job, and I enjoyed hearing you speak as always, and can't wait to hear your next one. And I'll turn it back over to our general evaluator.
Thank you, Vanessa. Next, I'd like to invite Graham for the grammarian report.
Thanks, Jackie. So I'll be going over filler word counts and word of the day counts. As far as word of the day, great job, David, me, John, Tom, Andrea, and I think Nick on using the words of the day. And as far as filler words go, David, none. You have like a Jedi kind of power of not using any filler words. And something I noticed, the veteran Toastmasters here just have that great natural ability of not using them. So that's something I'm looking forward to growing into down the road. Vicky, you had a couple at the beginning, but once you got into your flow, didn't notice any. So great job on that. Allison, none. Mamita, I counted a few ums, but otherwise great job on your first speech. Really enjoyed it. John, amazing speech. No filler words. You had me wanting to run through a wall halfway through it. So great job. Tom, I just counted one so. Otherwise, great job on table topics. Martin, another great motivational speech. Just counted one. Jack counted two ums. Otherwise, great job. Yasmin, one so. Great job on yours as well. Andrea, is it right? Adrienne, okay. You counted two ums. Otherwise, great job. And what was your name? I didn't quite. Greg, gotcha. Counted two so's and one like, but great job. And Alex, one so. Nick, one. Jackie, so far I haven't heard any filler words. And Vanessa, didn't hear any filler words from you either. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Jackie. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham, for the grammarian report. I don't think that'll get old. And lastly, I'd like to invite Allison for the timers report.
You did a very good job of staying within our time today. Momita, you were at 3 minutes, 51 seconds. There is that 30-second buffer, so you were good with that. John, you were at 10 minutes and 26 seconds. More than that. For the table topics, Martin, you're at 1:25. Jack, 1:02 seconds. Yasmin, 1:45 seconds. Adrian, 56 seconds. Greg, 1:45 seconds. And Alex, 1:06 seconds. For the evaluator, Nick, we got 3 minutes and 8 seconds. And Vanessa, we have 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Back to you.
Thank you. Now let's delve into the evaluation of tonight's meeting. Overall, tonight's meeting was well organized and I felt very blessed. David, I love the theme of gratitude for tonight's meeting. It was a timely and relevant topic, especially with Thanksgiving just around the corner. I appreciate how you incorporated different examples of gratitude into the meeting, and I found them all to be very different and comical. And we were thankful to have two inspirational speakers for tonight. Andrea, way to come up with a speech about gratitude on the fly. Very impressive. Vicky, I thought you were incredible. I know you said you were nervous, but I could not tell if you didn't say anything. I also want to mention that you memorized your entire speech, and that's very hard to do, obviously, right? So I thought you did absolutely incredible. The table topic session was lively, engaging. Tom, you did an excellent job navigating the stage, and I thought your questions were unique. And I'm excited to make your recipe, next week. I also saw a lot of new faces up here, which is always so great. And the prepared speeches were all well delivered and intriguing. Momita, I told you, very proud of you. You did great. I thought you were very descriptive with your story. And John, you absolutely crushed it. And something that stuck to me is when you put the numbers out, that helped me organize it in my brain. And that really stuck with me for when I have to present at work. So I'm going to incorporate that more often. I really enjoyed it. Simple and what is it? Easy? It should be simple and easy, that one, hopefully. Overall, I am very pleased with tonight's meeting. I think it was different from normal, but that's good. We had a lot of new faces with new roles, and that's great to see that the progress was had within this meeting and with everyone individually. And I think it was a big success. So thank you, and back to you, David.
Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate it. And we are going to be here next week, Tuesday, even though it's Thanksgiving week, so it might be a little light, but we'll be here. So if you're in town, you can do it, or you can join us on Zoom. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to our presiding officer, Vice President of Education, Area Director, Elvis Lopez. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And let's give another round of applause to our Toastmaster of the day. This has been a great night. A lot of first timers. And I would like to also come up here, our first timer, our member, one of the newest member who gave her icebreaker today, Momita. And it is customary to give a standing ovation, standing round of applause to Toastmasters who give their first icebreaker speech. As John was saying on his speech, it is not, well, it is easy, or it is simple but not easy. And it's something that I would like to encourage all of our Toastmasters to do. Just jump up. It is easy. Just go on the agendas for every single week. Sign up for a role, even if you don't know what it is. Just do it. Just go on, do it. We're here to help. And it will be easier once you do it because you will be accountable to yourself once it is there. When you see your name there, you try to make whatever is possible to make it happen. If you don't put your name in, then you would just be postponing it. I will do it later. I will do it next week. I will do it the week after. But just go ahead and do it. And you will see that it feels great. It feels incredibly well to just come up and do it. Your first speech, your second, your first role, your second role, and the list goes on and on. So again, thank you so much, everyone who has participated. It's been a great night. We've had almost all members participate, and those who did not had a chance to speak yet, we would like to now give you the opportunity, starting with our guests, with your introduction and just, I think you gave the introduction or you came in a little late, right? Right. So just tell us about your thoughts in general of our meeting tonight.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rockney. Apologize for coming in late. Had to work late. I work in construction. So, but overall, the meeting was very well organized. Then also, too, I enjoyed all the speeches. I think everybody did a great and wonderful job. So I look forward to coming back, hopefully next week if I'm not out of town. So.
Thank you. And I will go ahead and pass it on to Adrienne.
I really enjoyed the speeches. I enjoyed how witty you were. You made me smile while you were talking. I felt motivated by John's speech. I enjoyed when he went up, like in this area up here. It was very inspirational. I appreciate this place and the opportunity to grow here. And I just want to say thank you. And that's all I want to say. Thank you.
And I think we have another guest here. You didn't have a chance to introduce yourself at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead, introduce yourself and tell us about the meeting.
Yeah, hi, my name is Darwin. Yeah, I enjoyed the meeting a lot. It's my first time I feel like John is talking directly to me to join Toastmaster. So it's great self pitch, by the way. I always been wanted to join Toastmaster, but then something's come up to me last week because I was in Cairo last week to see the pyramids, and then when I there and I look at the pyramids, and I was like, it's not. I just feel empty, and I feel like what mattered was all the planning and the journey there. But then when I get to that, I feel like, oh, it's just look normal to me. So I feel like. So I feel that that's kind of like with life goal. Like I think like each of us we have our life goal that we want to be that person, want to achieve that goal. But I think that what matters is the journey, and I think like to get into that journey to kind of you are deemed to meet people. You're deemed to overcome some obstacle, and you become a better version of yourself. It's not matter the goal; it's just matter the journey. So that's kind of pushed me to join Toastmasters. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I believe you are a member. Yes. And so we have only Graham.
Hey everyone, I'm Greg. I've been coming here for the last couple of weeks, and I've talked to Colin about signing up, becoming a member, but I haven't gotten the email yet. So don't mean to throw him under the bus like that, but he's not here. So take it up with management. But yeah, I always have a lot of fun coming to these, and so looking forward to being part of the team, I guess. So thanks.
Yes, that is correct.
Hi, everyone. I had a great time tonight. John, obviously, you did a great job. I think Vanessa mentioned this, but vocal variety, the entire time you were talking, I was like, wow, his vocal variety is great and it's so natural. Table topics, I thought the questions were great. I like that you gave like a brief introduction before you went into the question to kind of get them in the mode, get prepared. And then obviously the topic, great, on theme, gratitude, and I really liked it. So yeah, back to you.
Thank you so much. Well, that is what this is all about, right? We come here to speak, to get off of our fear of public speaking. And so I will put on my VP of Education hat now. So those of you who have not signed up for Pathways yet, new members who have not signed up, please, I'm available anytime if you need any help signing up for Pathways and also looking into how to navigate through the Pathways website. The first thing is to select your path, which gives you from around 11 different options that you can select from, and that will be aligned with your goal. So you can either take an evaluation, it's about 30 questions, and it would suggest, about 3 different paths that align best to your goals. Or you can just go ahead and read it and see what is the one that best suits to your goals. But please select a pathway because that's the sort of the curriculum and the educational help that we get, the assistance through Toastmasters. You come here every week as a member and you are following your goal, which might be to finish a path that requires about 15 different speeches, 20, 30 speeches, basically 5 levels. Each one of those levels require different projects. But by doing those projects, you learned something new every time. And that's the journey, the learning process of working on vocal variety, working on managing the stage, or working on facial expressions or movement and hands, and all that is part of what we keep on working on every day, managing the audience, managing different things based on our specific goals. And that's something that even if what I tell you, what anybody could tell you, you can learn from, but it's not until you do it would you reap the biggest benefits. Is by repetition, is by doing it that the magic finally happens. So go on, sign up for your path, select, and then start working on your goals. And if you need any help as a VP of Education, one of my roles is to help you to navigate through that path. So please contact me or any of the officers if you need any help. With that, I would like to also before ending the meeting, talk about the upcoming contest season. It starts at the club level, and then go to the area level, and then the division, and then the district. Each club would have 2 contests. One is a table topics contest, and the other one is the international speech contest. For the speech contest, members have to have completed level 2 of a pathway. So that's why it is important that we get into our pathways and start working on it, because once we get to level 2, then we can also sign up for participation in contests. And for table topics, we just need to be a regular member, an active member of any club. So those of you who would like to also participate, I see some of the faces of people who participated last year in our table topics contest. So it is open for everyone. And the date will be announced shortly in our upcoming meetings, but it is actually happening from December to January. And as I mentioned, we will be communicating the dates, but please just get into the mood of participating, get your pathways on, start working on your speeches, and before you know it, you'll be ready also to enjoy participating in contests, which are a lot of fun. With that, I would like to thank you all for participating in our meeting tonight. We have meetings next week, as David mentioned, and with nothing else to say, I would like to call this meeting to a close. Thank you so much.